Welcome. Welcome to TNA, the new era on AMC, the day that everyone's waited for, that is a cop-out. I said it. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to make this very clear. Is this a wonderful thing for TNA to be on AMC? Hell yes it is. Is it a new era for TNA? Yes it is. Did they have some okay moments on this show? It was alright. Nothing spectacular. I'm sorry. If you're going to be honest, it wasn't the most spectacular stuff they had. They did not put the biggest and most strongest first step. They just didn't. That's left for Genesis. But I'm going to tell you this. They ended with a cop-out. I knew it. I knew there might be some type of screwy shit that was going to happen with TNA doing what they did. I said it last week. The announcement that was made about the main event I felt was going to be screwy due to the fact of something. And here it is. The ending of the show, what was announced, not what happened. The announcement, because the announcement wasn't last week that I heard. Now, mind you, I might have missed it, but if you heard what was stated by Tom Flanagan, I believe, just Tom, I don't know why I'm saying Flanagan. You see I'm angry. I'm messing up Tom's last name. But you heard what he said. It was exactly what I thought. Some type of screwy stupidness. And now we get two matches. The same match twice. Now, let's get to the beginning of the show. Who opened the show in Dallas, Texas? In an arena that was actually very well packed. And I was glad to see it. I want to make this clear, whether they sold out the entire arena in Dallas or not. I actually was very happy to see that thing was packed. And I'm glad to see it was packed. I want to make that clear. I was glad to see it. AJ came out. Everyone was waiting for him. They all knew he was going to be the only one who was going to be the best person to do it. And he was. AJ was there. He was the man we were all hoping for. And there he shows up. And he does exactly what we thought he was going to do. Say that this is AJ Styles' house, that he built it, which he did. And after it was done, he faces the current world champion. He faces Kaz. And he doesn't say anything to Kaz. The only thing Kaz says is that, oh, what are you going to say? You're going to be trying to get as much glory as you can when you came out and you talked? You want to thank me for the house you got built? And he says, thanks. It was all right. It was what I expected. AJ had to say something. It wasn't like he was going to do a match. It's just him talking. And since this is the last year for AJ Styles, we have no idea what's going to happen here. We just don't. A lot of speculations going that he's going to come back to TNA, try to win the title one last time, and be crazy enough to show it on WWE TV. That's a lot of speculation. I'm not saying it will happen. It's just what people are saying. But I'm telling you this. We don't know what's going to happen with AJ. It's a big question if they're going to do the John Cena treatment. Let's be honest. They may do the John Cena treatment with him. You never know. But this is what we had in the opening of the show. First match. Order 4 versus the Hardys and Elijah. Now, the match is not the thing that I was interested in. I was interested in what was going to happen with the Hardys dealing with the Righteous, with Vincent and Dutch. And what happened? The Hardys won with Elijah. We got a swanton bomb that ended it. And as they're cheering, Vincent and Dutch come out, basically destroy Elijah. And then, which was the interesting thing, if I'm putting any images in, here's one of them. You got the Hardys getting their ass kicked. But then it's Vincent who takes a padlock and basically, as it's already, now I'm doing this because you can see how big my earlobes are. Jeff has very big earlobes due to the fact he had them cut and stretched. So you get Dutch putting, and it should be in my face now, not before, a padlock put into his ear. Now, this isn't the first time that's happened. This has happened before, where you've had Jeff had something locked into his ear. It's happened before. But we get it here. And pretty much, you see a swanton bomb done by Vincent on to Jeff's older brother, Matt. So we will be seeing at Genesis their match. I'm not going to do any prediction. I'm going to leave it blank because look, let's make it very clear. It's obvious they want to push the Righteous and they want to use the Hardys. But it's going to be the question of how far they're going to push the Righteous and how far will this feud be. Does it involve the titles really changing hands? Or is it just about them using something to screw with the Hardys to make their story beyond Genesis interesting? Because they got to have content. Remember, we are now in the new era of AMC and they need content. So it may not be a title change, or there could be a title change. The key here is the content of what they're going to do. Whoever holds the title, they need to make this interesting. They must. They need content. Next week is a live show again. I forgot what it's going to be. El Paso, I believe. I can't remember where it's going to be. I could be wrong. I think they said El Paso. I'm blanking right now. But no matter where in Texas they are, it's live. And I'm fine with that. I'm glad they had this. Here in Dallas was live. Next week is live. I don't know how many more they're going to do with this. But if they are going to do more of it, fine. But the key here is this. Content. This is what AEW's main major problem is, that they have no content. They have matches for content, but no storylines for content to go with those matches where, as you know, and a lot of you know, their attendances are so low, and they shouldn't be. But due to the fact that all they produce is matches with almost no content of storytelling, they go from here to here. Now, TNA is in a position where they literally could be more than AEW because they can deliver matches. And I know now someone's going to say, dude, you know Myron Reed is now going with the Rascals to AEW. Yes, I know. The last time I checked the websites that I checked, some of them said Myron was joining them. Others did not say anything about Myron. It just said the Rascals. I know Myron is now with the Rascals, and they are going to AEW, and I know about Powerhouse Hobbs, and I know. But the thing here is this. The Rascals, they had storytelling. They were able to do stories in TNA. The question is going to be, the big question, are they going to get storylines in AEW? I love the Rascals. I love all of them. Well, Myron, I'm not saying I don't like him. It's just we didn't really get a lot of him. He's not a bad wrestler, and he's got a good personality. Question's going to be, is he going to get stories along with Wentz and along with Trey and along with Desmond or Dez? That's also the same thing here that I'm mentioning because I have to mention it. What are we going to get with the Righteous? What are we going to get with the Hard? It's going right back to it. I hope you understand. Next, Elegance brand. We got the entire Elegance brand with Ash herself. She's not wrestling. We all know she's still not wrestling, but she's still part of the group, which is fine. I don't mind seeing Ash with her. Fun bags showing themselves. And what did we get? We get the true Mr. Elegance showing up. Now, I don't recognize him. Some reason he looks familiar, but I'm blanking on his name. You guys tell me below who he is because I'm blanking on his name. I recognize him, but I cannot place the face with the name. I'm forgetting his name. I have seen him before. I know I've seen him before. I just do not remember his name. I'm blanking. But they used the original picture of the cameraman to say that he was the cameraman before, and now he's all muscled out, Mr. Elegance with the 20-pack compared to the 4-pack of the cameraman. Well, actually, the guy actually had abs. He had abs. It wasn't like he was totally floppy. Got a big belly, but he had abs. But now we get to Mr. Elegance. Did I like the segment before the inspiration came out? Yeah, it was alright. Seeing that Mr. Elegant was in looked like a feathered jacket was alright. Seeing that Ash M and the Heather, I think she's one of the most cutest. I'm kind of torn. Look, Ash she looked good. But I have to admit that M and Heather have grown on me a lot. As a tag team, yes, but also as damn good looking women. And even though M is like, well, I'm here, she's like this, because I'm a short ass guy, I'm like 5'9", she's like maybe 5'10". And then Heather would be me, and she'd be like here, maybe 5'6". I'm kind of torn on which one I like. Do I like a tall ass woman like this? Or do I like a shorter woman like that? I like them both. But did I like the segment? It was alright. Yeah, the AMC was on their trunks, whatever. Now we get the Elegance brand coming down. You see me botching. The thing that gets me with Cass and Jess, I said it before, I'm going to say it again. They promised to be different than Iconics, and they did not deliver. The first time around, they didn't deliver. They didn't. They just did the Iconics. That's what they were. They went away to have kids. More power to them. I'm happy for them. They're mothers now. But they still love wrestling. They came back. And for a while, they were different. But now they become complacent. They were allowed to become tag champs again. And they became complacent. They went back to Iconics. I'm sorry. I didn't see anything different. And in fact, you tell me below, am I imagining that Jess, not Cass, got worse? Cass has always been a decently good wrestler. She has been. But Jess has always been a very awkward wrestler. It's not against her. She's a very lovely woman. And I believe that she's very girly. Very sweet, very girly. But in the ring, a lot of times she acts very, very awkward. Sometimes moves looks like she doesn't know what she's doing. And other times she's just kind of botchy. And there's only a very limited spot that she actually wrestles okay. Cass has always been a better wrestler than her. That's just the deal. But in this match, even though it wasn't bad, she felt more botchy or awkward than she normally does. But in the end, it took Mr. Elegance to help his women to win the championship. And once you saw that the concierge was going to take a bump, which I'm alright with. Once in a while you see Iceman, the concierge, taking a bump is fine with me. He is the mouthpiece of the entire group. I'm not fine with that. I'm not having a problem. In the end, they won. And now the question is going to be, what are they going to do with Inspiration? They need to do something with them. They need to change them. I don't know what it is. It's got to be more than just them improving in the ring. They got to have something more when it comes to the character. Or some type of storyline that maybe, and I'm not saying this is the wisest thing to do, have Cass and Jess split up for a while. We need something different from Cass and Jess. They're on the same show. Let one have a feud. Let the other one be the other one's manager for a little bit. Give us something different with the Elegance. Not Elegance, but with Inspiration. Moving on. Now, we only got one more match for the show. But let's talk about what we had a problem with. We found out that two people could not be there. That was Leon Slater and Danny Luna. Their visas were an issue and neither one of them could leave the country. They're stuck in the UK. They could not come. So when it comes to Genesis, you're going to get Joe Henry replacing a Leon Slater for the X Division Championship. He's not there. He can't defend it, but it has to be defended. So it's going to be Leon Slater, Moose, and Cedric Alexander. Cedric is still allowed to have his moment. Now, we had our moment with a Ling Lang Lee. She came out with Xia Brookside, and Santino said because of Danny Luna, it was the first segment we got, there was no way Danny was going to be able to get that match. She's stuck. Travel problems. But we got a replacement. And Zoluka comes out. Zari and Zoluka. They both come out and they talk. And they said they were there to scout out what's going to be like when they go for the tag titles. But because this happened, they were given the opportunity who was going to, well, technically, we have a chance to go after the title. Technically, well, Soul said, I have a chance to go after the title. And Soul was surprisingly nice here because she was talking like she was going to go for the title, but she pushed for Zarya. In actuality, before anything, the thing that went through my mind when I heard Zarya's music, because it's Zarya then Soul, it was going to be Zarya. And I was right. I guessed. And it was Soruka who told Zarya, it's your turn. You go after the Knockouts title. It's good to bring it back with us. Why not give it a shot? So we're going to see Zarya go up against Ling Yang Lee. And that will be a Genesis. Now, this is going to be interesting. For me personally, this is interesting. Because Zarya, unlike when it came to Julia or Stephanie Vakir, she is legitimately the only one of those three international stars. Zarya. I don't even need to bring their names up. You already heard me say them. I'm saying this. These three women came in almost a year and a half to 2 years ago. Only one got any type of development. Soruka is the only person that she's really worked with. And I gotta tell you this. You may not like Zarya much. I'm sure you don't. Many people, I'm not saying that they hate her, but pretty much she's always catered to Soruka. But this is the best time I've ever seen any of those stars have development. Because you look at Stephanie Vakir. What did she really get? She got the rise through literally getting the title. Then getting a double championship. Then leaving. I was so angry that they gave her the North American Championship. Then they gave her the World Championship. And then they just made her lose both of them. And then she goes to the main roster and then she wins the main roster. Only due to the fact they have AAA under their control. That's the only reason she's got it. And I want to make this clear. I'm not against Stephanie Vakir. I actually like her. But there's no way you can honestly say the reason she rose so quickly wasn't because of the acquisition of AAA, which doesn't exist anymore. AAA as an entity does not exist. It is a WWE subsidiary. That's what it is. It is a brand. It is nothing else, nothing more. It doesn't exist. Yes, they'll make money, but they don't exist as a company anymore. They're nothing. And the only reason she got that position on the main roster with the damn title is because of it. And it's sad to see that because she can talk. Yeah, a little slow, but probably English is not one of her main languages because she's from Peru. And I'm not saying she can't speak English. She's done pretty good in the last couple of months. She's improved. But that's the only reason for that. Then you look at Julia. Julia is nothing but a hot mess. They let her have those moments. They let her become a champion. But what did she gain? Nothing. And she went to the main roster. She became now a 2-time U.S. champion. She got Kiana James by her side, which made her feel like nothing. And she still feels like nothing. They're doing nothing. The only person that actually has something is Zarya. That's it. So I want to see what's going to happen with Zarya after this. Whether she wins, I don't believe she will, but whether she wins or not, will Zarya be pushed? Because they should have already done it with the feud between her and Soul. That didn't happen. Moving on. Santino. We get 2 new knockouts. Santino first says that he's so happy that everything's working well, but he's made it very clear he's been very distracted because of his daughter and her future husband. So the brass in the back, his boss is about to say her, but there is going to be about a her. His bosses said, you need someone to help you. And they decided to give him Daria Ray. Sonya Deville. We have not seen Sonya for a while now. She got released. We know she had been released. But now, Daria, dude, I'm going to tell you this. Having her as a manager would be fine. Having her as a general manager will also be fine, because I'm going to tell you the truth. When she was the general manager on Raw, she did a decently good job with Adam Pearce. She did. She did do pretty well. And now she's going to be doing the same thing with Santino, which is fine. And here's the thing. For the first 2 minutes, she put Santino over, which everyone was loving. And then she brought the fucking hammer down and pretty much said he's nothing but a damn waste of oxygen. She put the hammer down that pissed everybody off, and that's a good thing, because it's showing she's doing her job and she can do it well. Of course, the Dallas crowd was already pretty damn good, so that really helped. But she was always a good heater. She easily could piss people off, even though she's like, a sexy piece of ass. Same, she's... Why do some women who are so damn good looking have to be like her? And that's not a bad thing. Being a lesbian, nothing wrong with it. I've known lesbians. I had friends who were lesbians. But you wish they weren't. Just being honest. Not that I haven't had a friend. I had a friend for many years. I haven't seen her for many years after I got injured. She was lesbian, and she was a really good friend to me. I knew her, and unfortunately, due to the fact of all this that happened to me, we lost contact, and I don't know what's going on with her. I hope she's all right. But I'm going to tell you this. I kind of wish she wasn't. And then she made the announcement that she's brought in a new knockout. Elena Black shows up. Miss Big-Tittied Cora Jade. She's back. And it's going to be an interesting thing. Let's be honest here. If you look at Cora Jade, when she was on the main roster of NXT, she did a good job on certain times, but let's be honest, they really didn't write much with her. They didn't. They gave her a feud with Roxanne Perez, yes, with Roxy. But then they really didn't do much with her. And that's the truth. They just didn't do a lot with her. Now, mind you, at certain points, once she got the tit job, they did show her more on TV. But that doesn't mean she had storylines. They just let her work. And then after she got injured, when Way came back, I'm going to tell you this. It's going to be a big question what they're going to do with her. I'm kind of thinking this. This is just me. Right now, the best thing you could do with Elena Black is turn her into a beautiful people. I'm actually being honest here. I know you're not going to agree with me. But right now, because of how well she's curvy and how her sex appeal is, I wouldn't mind seeing either Velvet Sky or Angelina Love come back and try to give her the moniker of the beautiful people. Or the beautiful one. Something. Something that goes with a sex appeal. And seeing if she works with one of them for a while. They don't even have to wrestle. That they become a manager a little bit. They give her the moniker of a beautiful, beautiful people. or the ultimate beautiful woman or something. If they did that, I think she would get over, because it would be more about her character as a sexy piece of ass with a great tit job than anything else. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying. Next, we get the system with a brief talk with JDC and Eddie. And I don't believe it was on script. I think with Johnny Curtis, I'm going to call him that for this moment. Johnny, when he was holding Eddie's head in his hands, he was being legitimate. He was saying it, I know you for years. I really love you as family. And you've done great with your kid. You've done great with your marriage. But I'm not going to just lay around and do shit for you. When we get in that ring on Saturday, I'm going to bring it. You better bring it to me. If you're going to pull the trigger, in other words, end me like Old Yeller, you better end me like frickin' Old Yeller, or Old Yeller's going to bite your ass. That's what he was saying. And I felt that was really a good thing to see. There was no attitude between the two, but he made it very clear, look, I love you. Kind of like what happened with Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair. They're close, they love each other, and this is what it's going to be. Basically, Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels moment. And I think that was the wisest thing to do. It may be corny, but it was the wise thing to do. Next, Dixie Carter showed up along with Bully Ray. Let's make this clear. Would it have been wiser to bring Jeff Jarrett in? Yes, but Jeff Jarrett's in AEW and he cannot show up because it is TNA and Tony Khan's not going to let that happen. He's not. So they used Dixie because she was living in, I believe she does live in Texas. It makes it easy because she doesn't live very far. So it makes it easy. I think she lives in Texas still. I don't know what part of Texas. But they probably called her to come in and the people really were not warm to her. Let's make it very clear. The Carter family, after what happened in the mid-2010s, people were not fond of them. Dixie, they were not fond of because a lot of times Dixie sucked when she came to doing the work in the back and also being an on-screen character. Not everyone liked her. They legitimately, it wasn't that they hated her as a heel. They legitimately just didn't like her. She had her moments in small doses, but when they made her a storyline or put her in a major storyline, she sucked. It's just the truth. And you could hear that people just were not warm to her. Now, when Bully Ray came out, of course, he gave her a hug and he went to commentary. And this leads to the final match of the night. Because there's only 3 matches. We got Santana versus Frankie Kazarian for the world title. Let's make this very clear. I said this early in this video that this was a cop-out. You see him botching here. When I was watching this, I'm still not happy about it. I'm telling the truth. Last week I said this was not the right thing to do. They should leave this for Genesis and not put it on the main card of the premiere show of AMC. I said it and I felt it was the right thing to do. Because yes, it makes some sense, but with a pay-per-view so close to this show, it made no sense. But they still did it. And I heard at least one person said, this is the wisest thing to do. They need star power. Well, guess what? What did I say last week? That there was a possibility there was going to be a screwy ending and they were going to do the match twice. Twice they were going to do the match. There was going to be some type of strange goings on and they were going to do the match twice. Now, mind you, there was some shenanigans from Kaz, of course, and the match was a bit botchy, but the fans were liking it. You got Bully Ray on commentary, which he doesn't usually do commentary, but he did do it here, and he did bring a nice dynamic to the team. I'm not saying he should do it all the time, but nothing wrong with doing it. But the match reached this point where the ref was nailed by Kaz, and you see, I don't know how they set this up, where Santana just went like this. it felt really rehearsed. I'm being honest. Santana didn't fall down on the ground. The only thing he did was go like this. Takes off his sleeve. Tries to nail Kaz. It's a little sloppy. They tried twice. And Kaz tried to do the spin the block as well. Admittedly, I gotta say this. The rolling spin the block, and Bully Ray didn't know Santana's move. He didn't know what the hell that was. A rolling cutter, that's what he thought. But they had to, and it was Matthew that had to tell him it was a rolling spin the block. That's what he called it. No, a rolling buck 50. I'm sorry, not spin the block. A rolling buck 50. My mistake. But you give me some understanding because I'm still angry right now. But in the end, next to pretty much someone won that match earlier, and that was already Santana, but the ref said no, even though he landed it, his arm went up, and no one got pinned, so supposedly. They did it again, and Santana finally did win. He did. He got his title back. But what pissed me off, what angered me, now, I'm sure maybe I missed it. I did not hear Santino say this last week, but it was Tom. Tom said this while Santana's holding up the title, that as Santino said it last week, whoever wins the match will get a rematch for the title at Genesis. Let me repeat that again. Whoever wins the match gets a rematch as a champion on Genesis. I didn't hear him say that last week. Now, maybe I missed it, of course. Maybe it was on X. Maybe it was on one of the videos they threw on TNA's YouTube channel. But I didn't hear them say that on the show. Not once. And worse yet, that very statement telegraphed the damn thing. That if that's exactly what he said, and supposedly Santino said it, it was Tom that said it, he said whichever champion wins is going to give a rematch. So if Santana lost, which there was a possibility, he would get a rematch at Genesis if there was some type of screwy ending, or in this case, a clean ending. They're doing their cake and eating it too. I was so angry when I heard Tom say that instead of leaving it alone, instead of just having Santana go to Genesis as a champ, and then you build the next challenger for him, no. You are now making them do a rematch, a repeat of this, where obviously Nick Nimitz, who's now been re-signed, I checked, Nick is re-signed. He's re-signed to TNA. He's not an open guy. No, he's still signed, so he can still go to other promotions if he wish. I'm sure that's part of the contract. But he's still mainly working TNA. So we know the Call Your Shot Gauntlet will be brought up. But you're actually doing this. You're double dipping. This is bullshit. It made Santana's win on AMC completely superfluous. If he retains and then loses to Nick, or better yet, he loses to Kaz, then Kaz loses to Nick, what was the fucking point of having that match in the first place? What, just so Santana would feel good? It's a trash type of situation. The only way this will look good is for Santana to win against Kaz, and guess who doesn't win either, or doesn't do the cash-in? That's Nick. This was a cop-out. There should not be two matches within a few days. There should not be no match whatsoever. They should wait several weeks to a month before they do another match. And now they're doing it in a few days. This is bullshit. This was a cop-out by TNA because they wanted to have their cake and eat it too. They knew they needed something on the AMC show because they had nothing. Due to the fact Danny could not travel, due to the fact that Leon Slater couldn't travel, because those were the two matches they wanted to do on that show, they did this. And you know what? They could have done something else. They had possibly people in the back. They could have made them wrestle. This was bullshit. And yes, it was funny to see Ryan trying to nail someone who was from another actors from another show that's on AMC. He pissed them off while Mara Sade is there. And this guy who is an actor nails him while he pretty much straddles his nuts on the guardrail and then gets taken off. Doesn't make it better. I'm sorry. This is bullshit. But this is just me. Peace.